Hi, I'm Archie Absher with the Overmountain Victory Trail Association, and Mary Bohlen will be talking with you about the skill set involved with colonial cooking.
Hi, I'm Ms. Mary.
Hi, I'm Miss Eden. Today we're going to show you guys how to make corn cakes like you see here. This is what the militiamen on their trek to Kings Mountain would have packed with them, or their wives would have made and packed for them so that they would have something to eat on their long trek.
Corn was one of the most important crops grown in the backcountry of North Carolina. Corn was grown, it could be roasted, it could be cut off the cob, and when it dried out, it was ground into a meal that we call cornmeal. The men would mix the meal together, just like you see Eden doing right here. They could mix it in a bowl and used hot water. We used hot water with that, and that's all it is. Now today you can make cornbread and you can add sugar or molasses to it. You can add bacon grease or buttermilk or eggs, but in the backcountry, when these men were going to Kings Mountain, they would just have cornmeal and water, and that's what Eden is making today. She's mixing it in a wooden bowl, and then we're going to put it in a fry pan and cook it on the fireplace just like the men would have done if they were cooking in at the campground out on the trail. We heat up the frying pan to get it warmed up, and we've got some lard in the frying pan. Lard is grease. It comes from a hog, and that's what they would have had back then. We're going to put the little cakes in the corn pan, and then put it over the fire. The fire is, today we have the fireplace in the house, but when the men were out on the trip, they would cook it at their campfire along the way, on the riverbank or alongside a creek.
So Miss Mary is going to rake some of the hot coals from underneath the fire and place them on the hearth. And then when she's done with that, she's going to set the frying pan on top of it. Now this is how they cooked over the hearth in the 18th century. They didn't have ovens like we see today. This is how they would cook all of their food.
Okay, now we're going to flip them over, and you can see how nice and brown they are on one side, and flip it over again. We'll cook these sides. These look like little pancakes. And that's exactly what they're called, corn cakes. We're going to take the corn cakes off of the frying pan and put them on our wooden dish right here so that they can cool off, and they would be, well, when they cool off, they'll be ready to pack up and put in our pouch to add more to it to take with our men and our boys on the way to Kings Mountain. Now Eden has a pouch over here, the little leather pouch, and also she has a cloth, and this is how they would pack it together. We've already made some of the corn cakes, so you would see, and they could put it together and wrap it up like you would wrap up a sandwich and put it in their little pouch to take with them. This would have been a common food. They could have taken maybe some apples with them or maybe some dried jerky, but corn cake was one of the most important things that they could take. And then they could have that at the campfire, or they could make it with them if they were camped overnight. We're very glad that you came and visited with us today at the Heritage Museum. And what we wanted you to know is that the men that lived here in this area, perhaps even one of your ancestors that went to the Battle of Kings Mountain, they had to pack and be ready to go like they were going on a long trip. And one of the things that they took was corn cakes. Today we have cooked one at the fire so that you can see what it looks like. Thank you for being with us, and we hope to see you again soon.